everyone. Just basically, I'm sorry, I was just making sure the sound was up because someone said last week they couldn't hear me very well, so hopefully I've managed to do that today. Morning everyone. Thank you for voting. And I just need to get my pad actually because I've got my notes on it. Give me 2 seconds. There we go, it was here all along. Lovely. So basically, thank you everyone for looking in today, and welcome to all our new members. We're actually up to 560 members today, so that's I'm absolutely ecstatic with that. So thanks everybody for joining in. I am doing a personal challenge this week to try and get myself up to 1,000 members. I know it's a big challenge, so I'm going to try and do my best, and hopefully I'm going to do it with your help. So I'm going to put a challenge on tomorrow, and I'd like you to invite all your friends and neighbours, anyone you think would like to learn about flower arranging, floristry, anything to do with gardens. And what I'm going to do is at the end of the week, the person that has invited the most people and they've actually clicked on and joined the group, they have to click on and join. So it's not just a case of inviting them, you have to make sure they've joined. The person that has invited the most and has joined, I'm going to arrange a hand-tied delivery for you. So that could be anywhere in the UK. If it's local here, then obviously I'll make it up for you. If it's not, I'll arrange for it through the systems for a nice price for you. And you can have it delivered to somebody else. I'll just message you and you can tell me where you want to deliver. So you could have it as a gift for somebody, or you can have it for yourself. Okay? Morning everyone, morning Eileen, morning, I can just about see it. I probably need my glasses on now. Morning Claire, morning Jane. I can't see it very well, so I will just wave to you every now and again. That's all right. Right, let's crack on. Right, so for a hand tied, you need a variation of about 5 or 6 flowers to make it full. And one of the best flowers for making it look full is chrysanthemums. I know they're not everybody's favourite, but they really do fill out a hand tied. And I do like them, I suppose, for that purpose. I don't like them for much else, but for hand ties I think they're brilliant. So for everything that you need for your hand tied, we like to get ready out on the table so you can just go work your way through and you don't have to worry about stripping any stems as you go along. So what we need to do is just strip the stems. You just literally want the flower heads at the top, and everything else below that you want to clear, because you don't want any dirty stems in the water bubble at the end. Alright, so these are already quite clean. I've kind of done these, so just rid of any stems. You can do it with your hand, or for more spiky flowers, obviously like roses and things, we use one of these, which is like a rose stripper. You can buy them online, and it just strips the rose. And there's another one with like a petal, which is great just for sort of soft. So this is basically how it works. It's got a little hole in there. You can put the hole around the stem and just strip it down. So I'm just going to do my roses. I've got some nice roses in here. So yeah, saves your hands. And when it's Valentine's and you're doing, 3,000 roses, say, it's a great tool to have. And somehow for Valentine's they seem to get really, really woody stems and really big, horrible thorns on them. So you can cut your hands to shreds if you're not careful. So I've got a few roses there. I've got my chrysanthemums. I've got a few spray cards that I had from the other day, so I'm just going to use those up, put them in. So again, just get rid of all the sort of little growing modules and nodules, or whatever you call them, off of these, and all the soft foliage that's going to actually go into the water. Alright, so that's about it. Alright, so they're there. This one is Alstroemeria, another one of my favourites. Got lovely big heads on them. They do sometimes have bit droopy leaves, so just tend to just get rid of everything bar the sort of green leaves on the top. Alright, so that's 1, 2, 3. Hi Maria. Giving me a wave. So that's probably 5 of those I do. And I try and keep my space tidy as I go along. If you're in a florist, you just drop it all on the floor, but I'm trying to keep it tidy here because I've got to try and show you a demonstration. Right, okay, now we've also got some, I've got some nice orangey lilies here. Some of them are a bit, this one's a bit droopy, so if you've got any odd petals that look a bit naff, just cut them off. Probably best to use scissors if you're not used to handling flowers yet, because you can lose the whole head, and you don't want to lose the whole head. So again, just strip these down. You don't want anything below the top. So I've got 5 of these. These are very reasonable. You can get them quite cheap in supermarkets at the moment. And I've also got 5 gerberas, which I'll show you how to wire. And I've got a bit of gyp just to fill in. So I like a few fillers. The fillers really are the gyp and the chrysanthemums, and your focal flowers will be your lilies and your roses and your gerberas, kind of really. So, all right, so we'll wire these up first. And these are the same wires I used last week. They're a 0.71 millimetre if you need to order them from anywhere. I'm going to start sort of doing a few things online if anybody wants to order them from me, but I haven't got around to doing that yet. So to wire a gerbera, you just put the very end tip into the base of the underneath of the flower. Hold it at the top, just gently. Hold it top. It does take a bit of practice, this. Hold it at the top and just go down the stem as you twist it. And that's fine. It just gives it a bit of strength, and it means you can manipulate the head a little bit as to where you want it in the arrangement. So again, just into the top, just a little bit, just to secure it. Hold it tight. Just gently move your finger down. One hand twisting, one hand pulling the wire around. So that's 2. Get rid of any petals that don't look very good, because you don't want to spoil the overall look of your arrangement. So again, in the back, hold it at the top, twist it like that as you go along the stem. Morning, Beth. I see your name. So this is the 4th one. I know I'm making it look easy, and it is easy to us, but obviously when you first do it, just get some cheap gerberas and try it first, because when you first start you will snap a few of the heads off. But that's all part and parcel of learning. Okay, lovely. Okay, so we've got our chrysanths, we've got our roses and a few spray cars. I've got Alstro and gerberas and my lilies and my gyp. Okay. Right, now before you start you have to get a little bit of greenery. In a florist you'd probably use hard ruscus, leather leaf, but because I don't have a big florist anymore, I don't stock all of these greeneries, so I tend to go onto the roads and get a nice bit of ivy, or anything I've got in my garden. I've got pittosporum, but I've actually hacked my pittosporum so much lately that I don't think I can put any in today. So I'm just going to use ivy for today, just to show you as a demonstration. And you can get this, as I say, around where you live. Everywhere you live, there's some ivy. So you just basically want a little bunch of ivy like this. And this is leaf shine. You've probably seen leaf shine, another florist's favourite. Just spray the tops, just because all you're going to see is the tops. You don't want to waste it on anything else. And literally, you want about 3 or 4 or 5, maybe, depends how thick you want it. And literally just put them in your hands so you get a little sort of bunch together, and just hold it at the, and that's going to be your time point. So to this you're going to add your flowers. So I usually tend to put 1 focal flower in the middle. So just get one and kind of thread it down through the middle of your bunch, just so that it sits in the top of the flowers. So you've got one in the middle. It doesn't matter if it's a bit off centre. They do move around as you work, so there's not much you can do about that. The second flower that I usually use is something quite bulky, just to give it a bit of stability. So I use, this is where I put my chrysanths in. So you've got your bunch to one side, and you just hold it and you lay the flowers on the top. So you're laying them so that they sort of fit in, and you just hold it like that. And then you want to turn it, and then you do your next one. So next one across. Just reposition your greenery as you do it and turn. So you want 3 of these, just to, so again, across, put it under your thumb, so you're getting your, can you see that? So you're getting a sort of roundy shape on the top. So you've got your lily kind of in the middle, and your 3 chrysanthemums. This is why I use these, it's easy to teach. If you use single flowers, you've got to use a lot more of them as well. Sorry, that's all my marks that go out. Right, so next thing we're going to put in is the outro, and again, just lay it to the side, put it where you want the head, and hold, and turn. And again, we do 3 of these, just to make it sort of even as you start. And you're kind of putting them in between your chrysanthemums. Alright, twist. And you've got 1 more, so we use 3 of those for the time being. There we go. So now you've got your chrysanthemums, your lily in the middle, and your outro, 3 outros around the edge. This one's moved, so I'm going to take it out. Just hold it again, twist it, and put it where you actually want it. It seems to move. They do jiggle about a bit sometimes, so you have to, and just make sure you can see the tops of the heads as well. Because if you do it too tight, you won't be able to move them up and down afterwards. So that's the sort of effect you're getting. Now, I personally would then put the roses in next, the smaller sort of stems. So again, just sort of feed them. If you've got too many leaves, just take a few off. You only really want the leaf, 1 leaf at the top. And you feed them through whatever the flower was that you had before. So again, feed it through the outro and hold it. Turn. Get rid of any extra leaves. Hold. Turn. We've got a red one in now. Hold. Turn. Different colour in now, otherwise you'll have 2 reds next to each other. A yellow. And turn. You're always turning, so that way you get the spiral. Otherwise, if your spiral gets lost, I'm going to actually put a red one down the middle here as well. You can sometimes feed them through, depends how tightly you work. But if you have a little hole in the top, you can see, so I've managed to get that red one in there, which looks quite nice. When you get a bit more experience, you can play about with it a bit. Right, okay, so already it's starting to look like a hand tied, isn't it? So now I think I'm going to put my gerberas in, and we've already wired these, so just look at the heads and just think about where you'd like to place it. Obviously we've got to place it in line with where we're holding it. So the first one will go there, where your tying point is. If you get any odd leaves, just get rid of them. You don't want anything around your tie-in point. That's 1, 2, hold it tight. All in family have no sound. Okay, well, the sound is going on there, I think. Can anybody else hear me? Let me, thumbs up if you can hear me. Anyone know how to do a thumbs up? Yep, oh brilliant, I'm glad someone can hear me, so it must be working right. It's probably just your end, maybe you haven't got your sound turned up somewhere. So, you can see now how your arrangement is. So we've put 4 in. As I say, we like to work in 3s and 5s in floristry. It just looks more aesthetically pleasing to the eye to see odd numbers. Alright, so we're getting there. I'm going to just use my little spray cards that I've got, because these are old, these are a couple of days older, and but they last for, well, they last for weeks, spray cards, so it's perfectly fine putting them into a hand tie that's going to last another week. I just wanted to use them up. Don't like to waste any flowers because they're so expensive. So again, just putting them at your time point, turning, hope you can see that, adding them. Just going to take that one off because you're not going to see that one. If you've got any odd little bits that as you turn it you think, oh, that doesn't look very good, just get rid of them, because you don't want anything in the way. You want all your flowers to breathe through the stems. There we go. Just keep turning and turning. Last one. There we go. So again, you've got a nice tie-in point here. Alright, and that's your, morning mum, I can see you. Donna, I can see you. Right, so if you've got any that your flowers don't seem to be sort of, they seem to be pointing out the wrong way, you can just turn them round, and because you've wired these, you can manipulate them a little bit. I'm going to see this one here. I've got a long sort of sticky one. I'm going to cut that out because that's just annoying me, and it doesn't. So just cut it diagonally, and then it doesn't look like it's been chopped off. Its head's been chopped off. Okay, can you see that? So that's looking like a hand tied to me. And again, you just hold it gently, but don't hold it too tight, because you want to, if there's any flowers you think, well, I can't really see that very well, you want to be able to just move it, manipulate it a little bit. And that's what's great, as long as you're not holding it too tight. And when you first start, you will hold it too tight. I did for a long time, but you get used to it. Now see, I can see a hole here, which is annoying me, so I'm going to feed this rose down, so it'll go between the lilies until the lilies open. So I'm just going to push that through there, and then you just have to guide it through from the back, from the end. Alright, so now I've got that lily just where I want it, in the middle there. So I don't want to see any holes in the top. In a hand tied, you just want to see the flowers, and that's all. Okay, right, so I think we'll add a bit of jip. So this just adds another little dimension, another different, I quite like to put jip around the edge. It sort of finishes it somehow. So just a little bit around the edge, and just keep holding it. You can cut these down a little bit, because they're going at the bottom. They don't need to be quite so long, and they will reach the water, as long as they keep the water topped up. So as long as you've got a decent sized stem. That's it. That's a little bit around the edge. Some people love jip, some people hate it. It's one of those love or hate flowers. I quite like it, but again, I like anything that fills in. There we go. Alright. So I think that's probably enough flowers. And what we usually do is do a collar around the edge. And if you were in a florist, you'd probably use leather leaf, but I don't have any leather leaf. I couldn't get any yesterday. I tried to get some to show you. But I'm just going to put a bit of this. This is laurel. You can use laurel leaf. I should have stick these in here, which I didn't. So just put those, just put something like that around the edge. If you've got any sort of ends that look a bit very nice. This is why it's easier to do it before, because you've got your hands full. So if you strip absolutely everything you think you're going to need, and again, we're just putting these on the bottom, just to give it a bit of support, really. So these are quite good for that. And take that off. You've got some funny odd leaves there, so you can just chop them into some sort of shape. We'll just get rid of the dead ends, doesn't really matter. And again, just putting them flat and holding, turning. Probably one more, and that will be the underneath covered. If you were doing a bridal bouquet, you'd do this as well. Right, I haven't got any more, so I'm just going to use another piece of ivy. Alright, so that's your hand tied, and you've got it sort of covered and supported underneath. It just gives it a bit more support. Right, now you need to tie it. Now, you can use all sorts of different things in flower shops for tying. I just tend to use, for cheapness, I just tend to use florist ribbon. You can get this about £4 or £5 online. A big reel, it's 100 yards. It lasts forever. So I've just cut 2 pieces off, because I know it's going to be one-handed. And you just literally need, you just hold it in the middle and strip it. Alright. So you hold your ribbon in one hand, you've got your hand tied in the other, and just hold it with your thumb and go round and round and round, at least 3 times before you let go, and then just tie it in a knot. I tend to go round again because I don't trust myself, and sometimes this string snaps, and then it's a bit of a nuisance because then you have to kind of pick up and start again. So I tend to tie it a good few times and then cut that off. So you've got a nice tied bunch. Alright. Okay. Now before we do anything else, I'm just going to get rid of the stems. Now you want it in proportion about 1/3 to 2/3. That's how I was taught. Sometimes I do them a bit taller, sometimes I do them a bit smaller, depending on what container they're going in. So about here, and you literally just cut straight. Hold it tight and just cut straight. You want them all to be straight. Can you see that? I'm just literally cutting straight across. Get rid of any sharp bits because they might cut through your cellophane on your these up. I didn't put the other lilies in, did it? But do you know what? I don't think it doesn't actually need it. I've got enough flowers in there. You would sell this probably once it's made up and with your cellophane, your bag, your box, and everything else that you put in it to send off to somebody. You would sell it for about £35 roughly. Right, so I'm just going to try and get this a bit tidier. And if you were in a shop, you'd have a special area where you do your wrapping. You wouldn't do it like I'm doing here on a wet table, because otherwise your cellophane will get ruined and messy. So, but for today's purposes, I've got a nice dry cloth here, so hopefully it's made the table as dry and as clean as possible. So just put that to one side. It's quite safe now you tied it. You just leave that to one side. And this is clear cellophane, which you get in 100-metre rolls. And again, if anybody wants this, you can just message me and I'll get you a roll. And we need to cut that. I've already cut it because I didn't trust my dirty table. So I cut 3 pieces, and they're approximately, I do it with 3 pieces, some people use 2. I think 3 gives a nicer effect. So they're roughly about 14 inches wide, and these are going to be the bits that go around the top. I like to use clear cellophane because then I think you can see the flowers better. Some people use really ornate wrappings, but I prefer just plain wrapping. Lovely here in the birds' court. Yeah, can you hear the birds? Yeah, I filled all my bird feeders up yesterday, so they'll come back again today. They go off if there's no food for them. So I managed to fill them all up yesterday. Hi, Vile. You can see a few people popping up. Right, so basically you lay your cellophane down, so corner to corner, you pull it so that you get your 2 points like that. You see that? Okay. And then in the middle, you fold into the middle again, so you get this. And I'll do that again because you probably haven't seen that. And then you need your sellotape. Where's your sellotape? Sellotape. And this, you need sellotape on a roll like this, otherwise you won't get very far. And then you just stick down that sort of third bend that you have. So you've got a piece that looks like that. So I'll do it again. So once you've cut it, the 2 diagonals, right, and then basically what you're doing is you're just bending it again in the middle. You can see that very well. So in half once diagonally, and then one corner into the middle of your folds, like that. So this bit is going into the hole in the middle. Quite difficult to show on here as well, like that. And put it on the desk and sellotape it again. So you're just sellotaping down the crease because you don't want it to come apart. So you just put your sellotape down the middle. So that's 2. So you've got 2, and then your third one, corner to corner, on the table, and then just hold it. You can hold it in the middle and just like a karate chop, and put the other corner into the hole in the middle. That's probably the best way of describing it. Probably not describing it very well. Okay, so you've got 3 pieces like that. So put them on the table. Go back to your hand tied, and then you put the first one on. So you will do it with the bit that you sellotaped on the top, and just hold it. And the next one, you put your double half on top of your single half. And then hold it at the bottom and put a bit of sellotape just to secure it. Oh. Secure anything. There we go, so that's 2. And your last one, you're putting your double side on your single side, and then you tuck that one underneath, so you've got a double on a single again. I know it sounds really silly, and maybe if you watch the video again you can see I've done that. It's quite hard to show you on here, but you could just play about with cellophane. People do cellophanes in all different ways. That's just the way I do it. It's not the right or the wrong way to do it. I then put a bit more sellotape down the bottom just to... Oh, apologies, huge apologies. I can't really see it very well. Hello Matt, are you watching? Right, so there you have your hand tied and cellophane. Now there's probably a bit too much cellophane on that, but we will chop that off at the end because I think it looks better then. So look what you can make. Right, so now we're going to put the bottom on it, which is a bit more difficult. But have a go. Please have a go. So out of your big roll, you want like a metre square, and we're going to lay that diagonally on the table. And then this bit is just another little strip which I put down the middle because occasionally what I've had happen is one of the stems has been a bit sharp and it cuts through the plastic, and then you get water all in your bag and you get a nice soggy hand tie, which nobody wants a nice soggy hand tie with it. So you lay that diagonally, and I call it a nappy because I think it's a bit like a nappy, putting a nappy around the child. So just put that there because this is where your flower is going to stand. They're going to stand on this little bit here. So it's a bit difficult to show you on here, but you want all of this cellophane to come up evenly around your tying point. Oh, it's a bit windy now. I've lost my little nappy back. Probably best to do this inside, not outside with the weather. Although we're a lot nicer weather than it was last week, so I'm not moaning. You lay your hand tied down in the middle, and then you want to pull the other side up and grab it in the middle. So you're grabbing the hand tied in the middle. It's best to lay it down while you do it, and then you want to pinch the cellophane. Now again, you need to practice this. It is a bit fiddly. You sort of pinch, and you want to pinch and pull all the way around. I tend to work from the front because this is the bit that you're going to see. You can't really see it very well. So you're pinching as you go up. Let me move that round again because it's not gone very well. Because I'm trying to show you. And normally I'd just do this automatically. I wouldn't even think about it, but because I'm trying to show you, so just pinch it in the middle, pinch up the sides, pinch up the sides, pinch up the sides. Just remembering that you want to be holding the centre of the tying point, because you don't want to tie it further down, because when you put the water in it, the whole thing will just slip off. The most important thing is that you're tying it where you tied your flowers around the top. So you want a nice, like, flat bottom. You don't want a whole lot of cellophane here. You want it as tightly as possible. All right, and then you want another one of your ties which you stripped earlier, and tie that around the bottom. Again, you want this really tight. The water will find its way down. Don't worry about doing it too tight. You can't really have it too tight, in my opinion. That off, tie a nice in the box, and that should, if you've got a nice flat stem, should stand up. Okay, now as you can see, I've got a lot of cellophane around there, so probably a bit too much, so I'm going to just trim these off a little bit, and just make sure you've got sharp scissors when you do this. Don't any old kitchen scissors that you use for the meat, they really won't work with. You need sharp scissors, and if you were in a shop, you'd have scissors just for cutting cellophane to keep them sharp. I tend to use them till they're worn out. Just go along, get rid of, and just decide where your front is going to be. I think that's my front. So this is going to be my front. So this will be my back. So I'm just going to trim them a little bit more. A little bit, you know. So not too bad. Just possibly go with a little bit more. Just a little bit long. So just play about with it. Just keep trimming it until you're happy. Front a little bit further, and just looks a little bit. You don't want to not see your flowers, and that's another reason why I use clear, because I think you can overpower it with. You want to see the flowers. That's what you're buying. That's what you're sending. All right. So it's a nice hand tie. Stands up. Then obviously what you do. I'm not going to do it now because I haven't got a jug full of water. Just get a jug full of water. Put some flower food in. You can use the flower food that you get with your flowers. You know, like the stuff you put in the vase, you can use that, that's fine. And then just hold it tight, hold all the cellophane to your body and pour the water down. Don't put it on the table and pour the water down, because you might find it all pours over the edge to the bottom. Alright, so hold it tight to your body and pour the water down. And you want it more or less you want to fill it more or less up to the time point. Okay, and then that will just go into a hand-tied bag, which I haven't actually got one here. And you'd add your card and everything. I'll just do ribbon, just to show you ribbon as well. Now I use organza ribbon for hand ties because I think it's nicer, and you can manipulate it a bit because it's wired. You can put it where you want it to go. So to tie ribbon, you want the ribbon, the strands of the ribbon to be probably about 8 inches long. So if you start from there, just pinch and then do your first loop, pinch, second loop, and you're basically holding it in the middle like you would like a bow. And then I do 4. This is quite thin, this ribbon, so I might do 6. You're just pinching and holding in the middle. Alright. Because this is quite a narrow one, I do use a thicker one, but I couldn't find anything that was matching this colour. And then your 2 ends to be the same length. Alright, and again you need sharp scissors for these ribbons. They won't cut with anything less. So again, I would probably use a gold ribbon on this, but just for showing you today, just use this green ribbon because I've got it here, and just tie it through the middle. Fortunately we use our teeth a lot in forestry. Okay, and then tie that. So decide where the front is going to be. That's going to be my front here. Alright, so you can light down while you do it. I tend to put my bow above the wrapping of the bottom. A lot of florists just put it around the bottom, but I actually think it looks nicer and prettier if you put it in between. So just lie it down, got your ribbon. So just push it down all the way around where you tied it originally. So below the wrapping of the water bubble. Okay. Great tutorial, thank you. Hi Julie. Right, okay, and just tie it tight and tie it off at the back. Cut it off at the back. You don't want to see any odd ribbons, especially if they're the wrong colour like mine is. So there we go. And then what you can do is you can just manipulate each of the bows. Because it's wired, it will go exactly where you want it to go. Always use wide ribbon, it's so much easier. You can use the this is what we call florist ribbon, but it just looks a bit cheaper really. But if you're doing like big industrial amounts or something, then you would use that because it'd be cheaper. This is obviously a lot more expensive. And the last but not least, the ends of your ribbon. I'm just going to get a nice forked tongue, so you bend it in half. Get rid of all those dead wiry ends and just cut from the middle to the edge, and then you get that nice forked tongue. Okay. That's your tutorial for today. Hope you liked it. as I say, thank you all for voting anyway, and obviously we did the hand tied because it was just a few above. I think I can't remember the figures now, but this one today. But I will do the vase of flowers because I know a lot of you want to do the vase of flowers. I think what we do is we do a vase of flowers near Christmas because you can get some nice bits and pieces in the supermarkets and the shops with like the baubles on the sticks and things like that. And I'll show you a nice vase with some baubles and Christmassy bits, maybe Christmas glittery flowers and things like that. So we'll do that in a vase arrangement because I think probably most of you will have flowers at Christmas, probably this time of year as well with everything that's going on. Be a nice little treat. So I'll show you how to do that bit near Christmas, and we will do a basket before Christmas as well. We can do a Christmas basket, because it's going to be Christmas soon, isn't it? God, it's scary. So again, thanks for all for voting, and I hope this was what, and obviously some of you wanted the hand tied, so you've got your one today, and we will do the other ones in the future. And again, so my plug for today really was to try and get the numbers up this month if we can. So the prize will be a hand tied, delivered anywhere in the UK, from me if it's local. If it's not, then I'll sort it out for you wherever you live, up to a certain value. I'll work that out later. So you need to invite all your friends and get them to join. So they have to push the join button as well, because I get a lot of people invited but they don't actually join. They have to go on and click on the join, and they have to see their name as a new member. Alright, so if you can do that today, that would be, or not today, over the week. Just think of anyone that you think might like to join, and we'll get this club even bigger. And I will promise to do you some sort of live video or a video every week, so you can learn something every week. Alright, so I think that's everything. And again, thanks everybody for tuning in today and watching the tutorial. I'll probably move down the other end of the garden next week because I think we were just lucky with the weather today. We've got a little arbour and I can do it in the arbour, so I need to just set up a little table down there. And thanks everybody for watching, and speak to you soon. Bye.